in a small community around the Bay, so I'm a Bay girl. Probably about 75 families. So everybody knew everybody. You know, I had an older brother, he's about 3 years older than me, and we all had the same friends, we went to the same parties, we did the same things. Now, he didn't always like having his baby sister tagging along, and he definitely didn't like the fact that I could have the same curfew as him, or all the perks of being, you know, the older sibling. You think that he would have better, you know, a little bit more freedom than his baby sister, but he didn't. So we had a love-hate relationship. We still do, but we always had each other's back. So in the wintertime, a group of my friends would get together and we'd go for skidoo rides. So this night, I guess I was probably 14 or 15 years old, we decided to go for a night ride. And we went to a friend's cabin, and the person that I was riding with that night, they decided to stay out later. So myself and my brother had to get home for curfew. So I had to jump on the back of his skidoo. Now, anybody who knows my brother Jamie knows that he is a daredevil. He has been since he's been a baby. He will be for the rest of his life. Now, Jamie never had a passenger seat on a skidoo. He didn't have a backrest, and there was a reason for that. Nobody ever rode with my brother. He was crazy. So this night I had no choice. I had to get on the back of the skidoo if I wanted to go home. So I did, and everything was going okay. You know, we were driving through the trails, everything was great, until we hit the country. Wide open, barren land. And my brother sees a snowdrift, a big freaking snowdrift. He couldn't resist. And I was off in La La Land on the back of the skidoo, not holding on, not thinking nothing of it. And all of a sudden, we hit this snowdrift. The problem for me, the skidoo kept going, and I hit the ground. Poof, big pile of snow. And my brother kept going. He kept going and going and going. And I couldn't see his lights anymore. And then I couldn't hear the skidoo anymore. I was left in pitch blackness. Pitch blackness. Like if you close your eyes, that's what I was left in. Complete darkness. And I was scared shitless. I was in the woods by myself. And I thought about all the things that could be out there looking at me that I couldn't see looking at me, and thought about all the crazy things that could actually happen while I was waiting for my stupid brother to come back. And I waited for over an hour. Over an hour! And I was so scared. I was so scared. And I was driving myself crazy, like really driving myself crazy. And finally, I said, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I gotta think of something else. So I happened to look up at the sky. And if you've ever been in pitch blackness on an open country in the middle of winter, and you look up at the sky, a clear sky, it's nothing but a blanket of stars. It was beautiful. And the one thing that stood out in all of those stars was the Big Dipper. And the handle of the Big Dipper was pointing in the exact same direction as what my brother had just drove away in. And I thought to myself, you know what? The handle of the Big Dipper is showing me the path home. And in some weird way, that kind of gave me some comfort in knowing that I could get up and walk and follow the stars and find my way home. So my brother came back shortly after, and I really wanted to hurt him, but I didn't. He laughed, I cried. For many years later, he still laughed, and I still wanted to hurt him. But as I look back today, I think of that story not only as something that I can share with you all here tonight, and maybe laugh a little bit, but I see it as kind of foreshadowing for things that I was going to experience in my life. So, you see, 4 years ago, I got laid off from a job after maternity leave that I thought was going to be my career. And at that point in time, I thought to myself, like, I got to find a new path forward. I need to do something. So I did. I went back to school. And I got reconnected with Mr. Barry Lewis Green, who also connected me to Mr. Joel Sweeney, who then asked me to be part of a MoMondays advisory committee. And at that time, I didn't know MoMondays was fit to eat, to be honest. I didn't know anything about MoMondays, but I jumped at the opportunity. So when I did, I also learned a lot about who I was, what I was doing with my life, and I can see now how all of those little decisions, well, not little, it was a big decision to go back to school at 31 years old, but all those decisions were connected to tonight. You know, they were stepping stones for me, and they led me to this moment, to this stage, to all of you. So, you know, I've been blessed, truly, truly blessed in my life. And I'm grateful for everything that I've ever had, and everything I ever had means so dear to me, so much to me. But that's not to say that there hasn't been dark days. There's been days where I felt left in that woods at that pitch black night, not knowing if the decisions that I was making was the right ones. I felt defeated, I felt alone, I felt scared. But I kept going. I kept putting one foot in front of the other, and I kept finding my path, and I kept trudging along. And you know, over the years, I've learned to believe, I truly, truly believe that everything happens for a reason. I believe that to my core. And I have learned patience for myself, and I believe now that not knowing all the details of how our life is going to play out is okay, as long as you are willing to accept that there is another way, that there's a new path, and that you can accept the guidance from the stars or God or whatever you believe in, the universe. As long as you can accept that into your life, you're going to find your way. And just recently, I jumped at another opportunity, because that's something that I like doing apparently. I just gave up a full-time position to take a chance on a 3-month contract with a dream job, with the hopes of having that job extend into something more permanent. But I had to do it. I felt like it was a need. I felt like the only way I would ever advance myself is to put myself out there and not necessarily know what the outcome was going to be, but I know that I have the support around me, and my loved ones are encouraging me to always try new things and to do what I love, and I'm taking advantage of that. And I wish that for every one of you here tonight. So thank you very much for being here.